Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Riesa Pascal. In 2020, Congress designated the new 988 dialing code to be operated through the existing National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Many see this as a first step toward a transformed crisis care system in America. The 988 code goes live on all devices this Saturday, July 16th. Here with us now is Dr. John Palmieri of the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. Hi, John. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. And of course, this is such an important conversation to be able to have. So let's talk about what this change means. The 988 operating through the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Could you explain that?
Sure. So 988 was created to make it essentially easier to access the life-saving services through the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. So 988 will offer 24/7 access to trained counselors who can help people who are experiencing suicidal, substance use, mental health crises, or any form of emotional distress. It's intended to be an easier to remember way to access those services.
Absolutely. So important to make it easy to remember, easily accessible. With the mental health crisis and suicide prevention lines the same, could it become overwhelmed with calls, would you say?
We are expecting an increase in volume for sure with respect to the 988 implementation on July 16th. So we have been tracking that and modeling it. And it's one of the reasons that the federal government has made unprecedented investments in the 988 system to prepare for this transition, to make sure that there is increased local capacity to provide response to individuals in crisis. And that we're also strengthening the national safety net or backup functions so that there's adequate response for individuals when they need that.
So important. Everyone's doing their part to make sure this is flawless, this goes off without a hitch. What are some ways people can support someone having thoughts of suicide? It's very, awful thing to have to talk about, but this is the reality of this world we face.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do know that there are lots of needs in the country with respect to mental health and substance use concerns. Suicides remain highly prevalent. There have been increased deaths through drug overdoses. The pandemic obviously has made the situation even worse in terms of overall well-being. So I would say that one thing that an individual can do if they're concerned is to be on the lookout for warning signs. So increased isolation, individuals expressing concern that they're a burden to loved ones or to their community, signs of hopelessness, saying goodbye, giving away possessions, talking about self-harm. Those are all warning signs that would suggest that somebody is contemplating suicide. And then if there is a concern about imminent risk, don't leave the person alone. Make expressions of support. I want to help. I'm here for you. Whatever you can do to create distance between the individual, both in space and time, between them and any lethal means that they might have access to. And then connect them to resources. Don't try to handle this alone. It's extremely stressful and can be difficult for the caregivers as well.
Absolutely. And of course, social media has really kind of played a part in this over the last few years. Would you say, is your recommendation kind of to try to avoid that, or is there a way social media can help maybe with these issues?
I mean, social media can be helpful if it's titrated and appropriately. So I think that's an important thing, is to not allow oneself to get overwhelmed and to recognize one's own limits with respect to exposure, because too much obviously can be damaging to one's own well-being and mental health. So making sure that you're kind of packaging that and titrating it appropriately.
Very important. Dr. John, where can we go to learn more? This is such an important topic, and I know our viewers at home would be interested in that.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So there's lots of resources on our website at samhsa.gov. If people are looking for referrals or resources for treatment and recovery supports, you can go to findtreatment.samhsa.gov. Our 988 office also has its own landing page at samhsa.gov/988, where there's additional information about what 988 is and some products and tools that can be used to support dissemination. And then the last thing I would flag is that we are always looking and recognizing that crisis work is a career and a satisfying career for many, and there's a need to build our workforce in this space. And so there are opportunities listed on samhsa.gov/988 jobs for individuals who are interested in understanding more about work opportunities.
Thank you for your time, Dr. John. We really appreciate this information.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.